just heard, LeBron James might become a free agent this summer. It's been mentioned a few times on a couple of our networks. Ours, yeah, it might surprise you to know that everybody in the media does not enjoy this constant conversation. Here's Charles Barkley.
I'm not going to let this dude hijack my life because I don't care, number one. But the whole sports world, we sit around like idiots and worry about where this dude is going every day.
I just want to know if he's coming to the Sixers. Why?
He's not coming to the Sixers.
Why not?
He's not fit with the Sixers.
Okay, we're idiots. That I knew. But are you guys going to let it ruin your summers? You feel the same?
It's not ruining anything. Listen, I mean, in the same way that you kind of tiptoed around disagreeing with Michael Wilbon, I'll tiptoe around disagreeing with Charles. I'll put in all the qualifiers. I love Charles Barkley.
Yep.
He's as engaging and entertaining as anybody. But that's a flatly ridiculous thing to say because forgetting about what business you're in, this is a hugely consequential basketball decision that is going to be made. You were talking about one of the, let's qualify it as generally as we can. Inarguably one of the 5 greatest players of all time, late in, but still in his prime, deciding where he's going to play for the next 2 or 3 years. That is, regardless of what you think of him or anything else, an extraordinarily important story. The fact that we may have grown tired of it says more about us than it says about anything else. But whether you love LeBron, hate LeBron, or anywhere in between, this is important. It is consequential.
What do you mean it says more about us? This got old the minute the buzzer went off after Game 4. Like, we knew it was coming. It's going to be irritating.
What part of it got old?
Because we've done this. This will be the 3rd time with this specific player. It's just not fun. Now, granted, Charles Barkley doesn't.
He went to Miami. They won 2 championships. He left Miami, came back to Cleveland. They're in the finals every year. Where he goes, it matters.
We have to talk about it, and I think that's where Charles sort of has like a different perspective. Is he doesn't do a daily show. So that is where it gets a little tricky. We do, and so we do have to talk about it every day. But I understand what he's saying. It gets a little ridiculous and over the top how much of this is covered all the time.
You acknowledge where I was going. Charles doesn't want to talk about it every day because he doesn't have to.
No, he doesn't.
And when he says he doesn't care, he doesn't need to because he doesn't have to go on television and talk about it Monday through Friday.
Let me ask you both a question.
Sure.
Okay, so all 3 of us have worked in this business a long time. People tend to recognize us when we go places and yell a question about sports, right? The most common thing that will happen in my life is someone will say, hey, Greenie, what do you think of this, that, or the other? Overwhelmingly, the most common question I get from people on the street right now is, where do you think LeBron's going to go? What do you think LeBron's going to do? I would say I hear that 10 times a day just walking the streets. People are not walking around saying, who do you think is going to win the World Cup? They're walking around saying, where do you think LeBron is going to go?
I get Kawhi.
And B, what you're alluded to is LeBron does a really good job of shaping that narrative on his own.
Drama.
That's the part of the thing that annoys you somewhat. When he plays in the Garden, he'll post a picture of him in their jersey. When he plays against Philadelphia, he'll make sure he lets everybody know how much he loves Embiid, he loves Simmons. In the offseason, he will call Los Angeles home, and he does have residences out there. So he does this for public consumption. When he plays against Chris Paul, they let us know their relationship and how it could play a factor in their future. So he does a really good job of keeping that narrative out there, and rightfully so. He's a great player.
But let me put it in basketball terms. Is it an unfair or is it a true statement to say wherever he goes next year, they are a contender to win the championship?
True statement.
Yeah. So, I mean, that in and of itself is significant.
Right. No? That's significant. And when that decision is made, it will be significant. But what Charles is talking about is all of us talking heads spending countless hours guessing. Like, we're just guessing. We're making up reasons why, reasons not to, who we should play with, who they should trade for. We have no idea. At the end of the day, we have no idea. And that, I think, is what he means by it.
But we can't ignore it until he signs.
I mean, wouldn't it be nice if we could?
You know, we can't ignore it until he signs.
Let's talk about other things.
For some reason, it doesn't bother me.
But here's another LeBron James point that can't get lost. It's way bigger than basketball. He's an iconic figure that just so happens to play basketball at this point of his life. So he's going to not only change the dynamics of a team and make him a contender, but, man, he's going to make a city relevant.
Oh, gosh,
okay?
Yeah.
And what would that do to the city of Cleveland?
Yeah.
Okay? That's going to cost their town so much money, so many businesses, so many lives are going to be affected by the fact that LeBron James decided to leave and not play basketball there anymore.
If he leaves.